Hello! Let's talk about Monarch of the Sword Iseria. She's not out yet. Um, from my point of view, I'm more interested in her use for Guild War, more so for offense than defense. Um, I guess we'll take a look at some speculations for Arena and RTA as well, but it's not really my thing. Um, it's an interesting hero. There are some concerns I have before making a proper judgment, so we'll look at them in a moment. But yeah, if you haven't seen her kit yet, let's look at that first, right? So to start off, we she has the same stats as Green Senya, or the normal Senya, the Knight Senya, but she doesn't get attack bonus. And looking at her skills,
Monarch of the
okay, calm down. I'm not gonna show the video yet, but yeah. So first of all, the first concern I have is this. Um, in the video, he says up to 70%. Now here it looks like the skill is already enhanced, and this is max. So I have no idea if this will be 70% or 50%. My bet it's gonna be 50%, but I think it doesn't matter too much, honestly. It's probably around the same thing. Um, and yeah, she's just a counterattack unit, which is, I guess, a concern as well. She has very clear counters, Mort being one. And another one being, yeah, just what if she doesn't counter? And I know people are saying, oh, she has 91% chance to counter in RTA. Yeah, sure, that's good. That's fair. Fair enough. But she still needs to counter to do her thing. Um, right, it's her as to basically all chances she has to counter are doubled. And then when she counterattacks, if the target is a hero, triggers a counterattack from the foremost ally. So what if she is in the front? Does she counterattack twice? I don't know. The way this is written, it's not obvious. It's maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. If she does, it's pretty good, pretty interesting. If she doesn't, I guess she's just okay. Um, but yeah, not clear. So until we know that, we can't really pass judgment. All right, let's see. Revelation, her S1. So on her normal attack, on her turn, she just penetrates the target's defense, but when she counters, it's this instead. So I don't know if that means that Sword of Duty is just its own ability and has nothing to do with this. So I imagine that Sword of Duty has nothing to do with this, meaning it does not penetrate target's defense. And so, okay. So we'll look at Fracture in a moment, but basically, uh, she will counter and then inflict additional damage proportional to the caster's attack on the target and injury. That additional damage does injury, which we'll see in the video. But so immediate question, and this is a slight aside from how Smilegate is doing things for how they changed how they write skill text. Basically, what happens if this attack misses? Does the attack do additional damage or not? So basically, before we just didn't know. More recently, supposedly, Smilegate made it try to write it all in the same way, where if it doesn't say it, it will not do additional damage on a miss. So if it says nothing, it will not do additional damage when it misses. So that's what I expect this to do. That means that against Setsuka, if she misses, she does 0 additional damage, which is sad. Right, and as a side, I wish just Smilegate would just make it explicit for either case, or if it is implicit, then make implicit be what people expect. So if I read this and I say, oh, it does additional damage after attack, that means I expect it to do additional damage after attack every time. So it should do damage every time. And if you want it to not do additional damage on a miss, then you explicitly add it in. You add in the exception, right? So the general rule, when I read the text, it should do what I expect it to do. And it shouldn't be hidden somewhere like in the mechanics and because they decided if it misses, then it doesn't do damage. Like, how would I know that? I read that it does damage. Why isn't it doing damage? It's kind of odd. But that's what it decided, so I expect this to not do damage on a miss. Right. And her S3, can I see S3? Here it is, yes. So Fracture, it increases attack and decreases defense up to 10 times, all good. And this one just, it's kind of a one-off S1, I think, countered S1. It seems like it does mostly the same thing, except doesn't push. And it dispels her own debuffs. So injury is what we care about. So looking at her kit from a Guild War perspective, where would I want to use it? I would want to use it against HP scaling damage dealers on defense, because basically she will weaken her defense, but she will get a barrier. So against a damage dealer that is not HP scaling, who does not get their damage lowered by injury, they will just do a lot of damage to her, and barrier will not be enough, probably. Maybe it will be, but probably won't be enough because the defense decrease will stack up and she will just get yoinked. So she wants to be used in a long fight where the team doesn't die and eventually she just wins, which is a fine concept and a fun one, really. But because I was thinking what comps I would use this on offense, and I think I would use her into Setsuka, but if she doesn't do extra damage and doesn't injure against Setsuka, then what's even the point? So I'd be disappointed with that. And same here, does she do injury when she misses an attack? Probably not. That's what we expect. Right, so we'll just have a look at the video very quickly here. And the examples they do. But there's no dodge on the other side, right? So it's kind of sad. It's only one example, but let's see.
Let my guard down.
Vitals check. Looking good. Now, wakey wakey. I won't waste my breath on those unwilling to listen. Reveal thyself, sword of light.
Okay, so we saw the first counter. The first hit just basically did no damage, so we probably don't care about crit chance or crit damage on her. We just care about attack, health, and defense, and I don't even know if we care about speed. Maybe we care about effect resist in some cases. Again, for Guild War, it's more specific. You can fine-tune the unit. And basically, we want everyone to probably hit her if she's on counter. And ideally, we would not be using Elbrus. We would be using something else instead, like maybe Proof of Valor or something. I'll talk about a team I thought I could bring her into, but if Setsuka dodge chance means she doesn't do extra damage and injury, then she's useless into that comp.
This spear will be the spear of protection. Do not block me.
Okay, so we see based on how much damage it did, so her extra damage is definitely reduced by defense because the previous was like 10,000, now it's 8,500. So it's like most additional damage effects, but not all, where it is reduced by defense, and it's probably like 30% of the defense, or is it 40? I don't know how it works. It's like 30% of the defense, but it counts like 40% of her attack, or 45%. That's how it usually works. That's her S1 on her own turn, and it did absolutely nothing. So if she doesn't counter, she's probably doing nothing at all.
Dare show your face?
Shall we give it a test run?
Looks like you still got it. You hit me?
Let's rock.
There's another duel. Lackluster does absolutely nothing. That's defense penetration. I don't see it. Did it penetrate any defense? Did it do any damage? It did nothing at all.
Let me hear you cheer for me! You're ready, everybody!
Okay, I'll skip forward a bit to see if I get an S3 from her.
command.
Do I really need to do this myself?
Okay, so we saw before she had all the defense buffs, she took like around 10,000 damage after the attack. I don't know, it was 8,000. So again, it does get reduced by defense, the extra damage.
Shine.
Okay, I have no idea why we didn't use S3. It dispels debuffs, right? Why didn't we use S3?
Reveal thyself. Sword of light. It's up to you. I'll let you down, Sam. Face the darkness.
Okay, we're finally using S3, but now, obviously, she stacked her Fracture quite a lot. Big pop, so we have 5 stacks there. So still about 9,000 to Barunka, which we can assume is like maybe, I don't know, 8,000, 3,000 defense probably or something, maybe 2,500 highest defense. Yeah, sure, decent damage, sounds good. I wonder what it would have done without the stacks.
Guard down. Do not block.
Okay, so yeah, after her stacks, she's doing more and more damage, so maybe that's why they didn't use the S3 early on, and that's all good and dandy. So going back a little bit to how would she be used? So my idea was first to use her into like Nulha comps, so you get like Nulha Jiras or Nulha Ravi, but usually those come with Setsuka, right? And this would be ideal if it dealt injury, even if she misses. Because those are all HP scaling units, and as long as her team doesn't die, she can just kill them eventually. Although she will take a lot of damage from a Ravi, and I was doing some calculations, but you can still build her to survive. But the idea about that was also against Jiras, Nulha, and Setsuka, you probably bring like 2 blue units. Oh wait, you can't. Never mind. You still need to bring Emily herself, and then like some healer, probably Roana, and you just stand there and you do nothing, right? And then eventually she kills them. Hopefully faster if she does injuries. If she doesn't do injuries, then it's not fast enough. And in that case, you probably do need both Counter and Elbrus, because you're not guaranteed that everyone will go into her. So yeah, you just bring Elbrus and Counter, and you auto and you AFK, and it probably wins. As long as you survive, I don't think you lose. I guess you lose to a Collapse or a Seal from Jiras, but other than that, you should be fine. The other idea I had was against a Ravi, Nulha, and Setsuka, and that would be very good actually, because then we can bring her as the only light unit, so she can bait both Nulha and a Ravi, and if you bring 2 blue units, then you can also bait Setsuka. So what you would do there, you would just bring a knight with Aureus effect, like Brig or something, and the third unit would be a healer, like Angelic Montmorency, whatever. And then all hits go into what's her name, Monarch of the Sword Iseria, and she just counters, and you only need counter set on her. And for the artifact, you can bring like Proof of Valor or something like that. Now, Aravi will still do a lot of damage. I had a look, and yeah, so I did like Apocalypse Ravi, like 1.8k attack. Let's say, I don't know if this is realistic, 350 crit damage, and 60,000 HP after Superhuman. You know what? Let's make it right. Let's do this and do Superhuman here. Okay. So the calculation, and I put her on 1.5 thousand defense. So this Aravi still bloody hurts. Look at this. It's a lot of damage. So if we this 24,000 just on S3, that's crazy. Did this have the same amount of damage? Yeah, it's the same. It's fine. This is correctish. And this is without War God, which we don't have penetration resistant to account for this yet. Let's say it's 50, because I think that's what it's going to be. Right, so then we bring her on Proof of Valor, so it's down to 16, and we bring an Aureus Knight, 20%. So now it's manageable, right? Now she can tank all of them, like she can tank the initial S3. Now let's say Nulha dies, because we want to kill Nulha first probably, if we can choose it. And then War God will do 17,000. And she will be injured at this point, because a Ravi does injury. So I don't even know if this team can do it normally, like if it can outlive. This is through damage share and max Proof of Valor, right? So it's not even a Proof of Valor after it's been reduced to 15%. I think it's just not that good. Um, yeah, and again, she probably doesn't even do injury on a miss, because that's how Smilegate decided to write the new text. That's what I expect it to be. Uh, so I think it's probably a very fun unit for RTA and Arena. Probably you can auto into Arena, just like bring a team that doesn't die. You put her on Elber's counter and just, you know, it just works. Like she just kills everything eventually in the right setup. For Arena, it's probably fun for some people. You probably can't pick her early because Mort exists. She just does absolutely nothing. As we saw, her S1, unless on her own turn, does nothing at all. And yeah, I think it's probably a fun unit. I don't know how useful it will be. I will need to know how her effects interact to make a proper judgment. Um, does she counter twice if she's in front? Does she do additional damage when she misses her attack? These are the things I want to know. And does she get 50 or 70% penetration resistance? Like, I don't know how much it matters. We can look here. So at 50 with War God, it's 70. So let's say 0%, right? This is what. So Eravi at 0% penetration resistance. Let's remove, and then let's put 15% proof of valor here, damage reduction. So she would do 28,000 damage if there was no resistance. If it's 50, it's down to 20,000. If it were 70, it's down to 18. So 2,000 damage reduction if it is indeed 70% and not 50. So it makes some difference, but you see, it is not huge. Um, so whichever the case, I think that's the least relevant part of her kit that I want to understand. It really is, does she counter twice in front, and can she do additional damage and injury when she misses her hit? Until I see that, I can't judge her. And assuming she does all the things you want, she does additional damage on miss, and she counters twice, it's probably looking like a very fun unit, but easily countered, right? I mean, Mort exists again. What do you do against Mort? You S3, and then she's useless without S3. Um, on defense, I don't think she'll be useful unless you have a defense that is able to counter Mort. Or when I say counter, not counter attack, but like mitigate Mort's effectiveness against Iseria. So he would have to die early somehow, or just be sealed or something. Although she does do injury to Mort only from S3, it's not going to be enough. Yeah, for builds, it's just attack, defense, HP. I don't know about speed, maybe some ER. It doesn't look like crit chance and crit damage does anything for her. Most of her honestly, maybe you can, in some cases, if you put her just on Elbrus and you don't want counter set, you can put her on attack set. Sure, let's give attack set some use. uh, but right, she's a counter gimmick unit, seems fun, easily countered, might have some downfalls if a lot of her toolkit does not work as it would be good if it did, right? The extra damage on hit, and otherwise you start bringing symbol of her on her just to hit Setsukas. It's kind of annoying. Um, and for artifacts, it's just counters at Elbrus, but if not Elbrus, and she's the main bait in Guild War, you just probably bring Proof of Valor and counter. I don't know, maybe guide to a decision if you want to prevent some injury, but you probably have a protections at night for that anyway. Yeah, let's see when she comes out. And let me know if you pull her.